Have you ever wondered why frugality is praised yet stinginess is frowned upon, even though they both involve saving money? This seemingly paradoxical scenario is what we're going to unravel today. We live in a world where money plays a significant role in our lives. How we choose to manage it can shape our relationships, our happiness, and our overall quality of life. Frugality and stinginess, two terms often used interchangeably, hold different connotations when it comes to money management. Frugality is generally perceived as a virtue, a strategic approach to saving money without compromising on the quality of life. On the other hand, stinginess is often associated with a negative mindset, focusing on hoarding money at the expense of personal and social well-being. In this video, we'll delve into these differences, using real-life examples to give you a better understanding of what distinguishes a frugal person from a stingy one. So buckle up as we embark on this exciting financial journey to discover the thin line between frugality and stinginess. Firstly, let's understand what frugality means. Frugality is a term that might conjure images of penny pinching and scrimping on every possible expense. But this isn't really the case. In essence, frugality is about being resourceful and mindful of how we use our resources, including time, money, and possessions. It's an approach to life that prioritizes long-term sustainability over short-term convenience or indulgence. To illustrate this, let's consider a person who chooses to invest in a high-quality winter coat. Now, this coat might cost more upfront than a cheaper alternative. But if that coat lasts twice as long, then the person has actually saved money in the long run, not to mention the time and effort saved from not having to shop for a new coat every winter. This is a classic example of frugality. It's not about going for the cheapest option, but rather the one that offers the best value over time. Another aspect of frugality is minimizing waste. This could mean reusing items instead of throwing them away or recycling them into something new. For instance, a frugal person might use an old t-shirt as a rag for cleaning, or turn food scraps into compost for their garden. These actions not only save money but also reduce the person's environmental footprint. Again, it's about making the most out of what we have. Frugality, therefore, is not about deprivation. Rather, it's about consciously choosing to live within one's means without wasting or squandering resources. It's about making thoughtful decisions that consider both the present and the future. So instead of viewing frugality as a restrictive lifestyle, we should see it as a philosophy that promotes efficiency, sustainability, and mindfulness. It encourages us to appreciate what we have and to use our resources wisely rather than constantly striving for more. Essentially, frugality is about maximizing value, not just minimizing cost. Now that we've understood frugality, let's delve into stinginess. Stinginess, in essence, is the excessive reluctance to spend money. This isn't about being cautious with your finances, but it's about an almost obsessive need to hoard money, often at the expense of one's own comfort and the comfort of others. Imagine this: you're out to dinner with a group of friends. The bill arrives and it's time to split the cost. The stingy person, however, starts calculating down to the last cent, unwilling to pay even a penny more than what they believe is their share. Or perhaps they conveniently forget their wallet at home, or consider the person who never tips, regardless of the quality of service they receive. They might argue that tipping is optional and they're not wrong. But the underlying motive isn't about questioning the tipping culture. It's about saving that extra bit of money, no matter what. Stinginess often involves denying oneself and others the necessities or pleasures of life to save money. It's the person who refuses to turn on the heater in the dead of winter, or the one who won't buy a birthday gift for a dear friend, not because they can't afford it, but simply because they'd rather save the money. Stinginess can also manifest in extreme couponing or an unhealthy obsession with sales and discounts. Yes, there's nothing wrong with wanting to get the best deal. But when the pursuit of a bargain starts to consume your every thought, when you're buying things you don't need just because they're on sale, that's when frugality turns into stinginess. The stingy person often fails to realize that money is a tool. It's meant to be used, to be circulated. It's not something to be hoarded away out of fear or greed. Stinginess, then, is not about saving money, but hoarding it. It's about an excessive attachment to wealth, an inability to let go, and a reluctance to share. And as we'll see in the next segment, this kind of behavior can have serious impacts on one's relationships and personal happiness. Let's now discuss how frugality and stinginess affect relationships differently. When it comes to frugality, it's often seen as a virtue, especially in a partner. This is because frugality is about making wise and thoughtful financial decisions. It's about planning for the future and ensuring financial stability. This shared financial goal can be a strong bonding factor in relationships. Imagine a couple working together to save for their first home, or a family cutting back on unnecessary expenses to fund a dream vacation. Frugality can also foster open discussions about money, which is crucial in any relationship. It encourages partners to communicate, to discuss their financial goals, and to make decisions together. This openness can lead to a greater sense of trust and understanding between partners. On the other hand, stinginess can have a negative impact on relationships. While frugality is about careful spending, stinginess is often perceived as an unwillingness to spend at all, even when necessary or reasonable. This can lead to feelings of resentment and frustration. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who never wants to share or contribute, or who is always counting pennies to the point of obsession. It can feel like the stingy person values money more than the relationship. The perceived lack of generosity can lead to a sense of imbalance and unfairness in the relationship. Furthermore, stinginess can lead to secrecy around money. If one person is overly stingy, the other might feel the need to hide their spending or to lie about costs, which can erode trust in the relationship. So, while frugality can foster trust in partnership, stinginess can create tension and mistrust. It's important to remember that it's not about how much money you have, but how you manage it that counts in a relationship. As we've seen, frugality can strengthen relationships while stinginess can strain them. How do frugality and stinginess affect personal fulfillment and happiness? In our journey to understand the difference between frugality and stinginess, we've seen how these attitudes can impact our relationships. Now let's delve deeper into their effects on our personal fulfillment and happiness. Frugality is about value, not just cost. It's about making the most of what we have and finding satisfaction in living within our means. It's about setting achievable financial goals and feeling the thrill of reaching them. It's about the peace of mind that comes from knowing that we're prepared for the future. It's about the joy of seeing our savings grow, not for the sake of hoarding, but for the freedom and security they provide. Imagine being able to take a vacation without worrying about the financial aftermath, or being able to help a loved one in need without plunging into debt. Imagine being able to retire comfortably, knowing that you've planned and saved diligently. These are the rewards of frugality, and they lead to a deep sense of personal fulfillment and happiness. On the other hand, stinginess is often associated with stress and dissatisfaction. It's about denying ourselves and others the things that bring joy and comfort. It's about constantly worrying about money, even when there's no need to. It's about the fear of losing what we have to the point where we can't enjoy it. Stinginess can lead to feelings of guilt and shame, especially when it affects our relationships with others. It can lead to a life of scarcity, not abundance. A life where we're always counting pennies instead of savoring experiences. So, while both frugality and stinginess involve careful management of resources, their effects on personal fulfillment and happiness couldn't be more different. Frugality brings satisfaction and peace, while stinginess often brings stress and dissatisfaction. Clearly, frugality can lead to personal fulfillment, while stinginess can lead to dissatisfaction. So, what have we learned about frugality and stinginess? In our journey today, we've uncovered that frugality and stinginess, although seemingly similar, are indeed worlds apart. Frugality, on one hand, is about being resourceful and wise with your resources, making decisions that are not just cost-effective but also value-adding. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're saving money without compromising on quality or experience. On the other hand, stinginess is a different ballgame. It's about being excessively careful with spending, often to the point of denying oneself or others the basic comforts or pleasures. It's not about value but about hoarding, and it can strain relationships and rob us of personal fulfillment. The key takeaway here is to strive for frugality, not stinginess. Be mindful of where your money goes, but remember to enjoy the fruits of your labor too. Remember, it's not just about saving money, but how you save it that defines whether you are frugal or stingy.